well. Uh, this is Pastor Henry Green with PowerLunch. We'll be starting in just a few moments, but wanted to give everybody an opportunity to jump on. Well, I'm so excited about today. Can't wait to spend these few minutes. This is really one of the highlights of my week that I get to spend these few moments with you. And so if you got anybody that are business-minded people, if you'll text them and give them a chance to jump on. This is what we call Power Lunch. This is Bible for business-minded people. I think that the Bible is the greatest business manual ever written, and so we just got to work a little bit to dig out some of the meat out of the principles of the Bible. So good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm Pastor Henry Green of the Emmaus Christian Church. We're located in Indianapolis, Indiana at Lafayette Square Mall. So if you're in the area, join us. We have a great service at 10:25. We are COVID compliant, but we have 8 pages of protocol to keep you safe while you're in the building. Because we appreciate people being able to watch by cyber, but there's nothing like being in the house. And so if you're in the area, invite you to come. Well, it's 12 o'clock, so let's get started. We want to be efficient. Once again, welcome to Power Lunch with Pastor Henry Green. It's Bible for business-minded people. For these few minutes, we're going to search the Bible to pull out business principles that will help you succeed in business. Well, last week I started what's probably going to be a series. I'm really excited. Taught this a number of years ago. It's called Business Lessons from the Virtuous Woman. And so when I began to read Proverbs 31, beginning at verse 10, it talks about the virtuous woman. What hit me initially was all these things they said this woman was, it was a whole lot. I'm like, my goodness, how can you be all of that? But then when I began to look at the scriptures as her progression in business, where she started in one place and advanced her business at each step, there are some critical clues on how you advance your business. So today, we're going to operate from Proverbs 31:14. Proverbs 31:14. This is once again inside the scripture known as the virtuous woman. Proverbs 31:14 reads from the King James as follows: "She is like the merchant's ship. She brings food from afar." Now, on the surface, that sounds very simple, but here's what I want you to understand, that there's a very critical business principle here. What that says is, number one, she is not satisfied with average. So if you understand what's going on here, a merchant ship that brings food from afar, what that means is she's not just limited to what's around her locally, but she's willing to go over and above to get something exceptional. So if you think about the context of this scripture, in that day, all of the food was regional. So you would buy from a regional people that farmed, or meats from a regional area. There was really no thing that was really international commerce. And so the one exception to that would have been merchant ships that may bring food from another area that would be unique in the area they were taking it to. And so, number one, she's not satisfied with average. So she's looking for something that's over and above. And that's a great strategy for us in business, because too many people are satisfied with average. And to be an exceptional business person, you have to be willing to go over and above. I like one of the translations I read, I believe it was the New Living Translation, that talks about her bringing surprises. And so that gave me my second point, which is, in business, you must be willing to go over and above what is expected. For those of you that are in a place where you're building your business it is a great idea to over deliver. If you look at things in this season, people are doing just enough or barely enough to get by. Some of you that have experienced the wonderful customer service that we're seeing in many of our organizations know that people are not willing to go over and above. They barely want to do the bare minimum that their job requires. I can share with you when I was working corporate, I worked for Allstate Insurance Company, and I was an underwriter. And so as an underwriter, my job was to get policies, evaluate them, and the key in that business was moving them off of the desk in a quick manner. Like you only had so many days to underwrite it, get whatever you need to get, make a decision, and get it back to the agent. And so I was a master at managing my desk. And so I was talking to my supervisor, and he said, managing your desk is the minimum you do to keep your job. But if you want to advance in the company, you have to do more than what's expected of you. Now, that's a difficult concept for many because a lot of employees would say something like, they're not paying me to do that. Well, here's what I want you to understand. If they're paying you to do that, then you've reached your plateau. You have to always be willing to go over and above what's expected to you. It is the little extras that will distinguish you in business and help separate you from your competition. And so it is that mentality of not doing what they pay you for, but delivering over and above what's expected to you. And then the last point I want to give you in that realm of thought is, where is your wow? There's a wonderful book out called Where is Your Wow? And this is what we're saying. What can you do in your business that would make your customers go, wow? And it is something that you have to really take a look at to just give somebody a wow experience. Because if you give them a wow experience, you will make them what we call a raving fan. And not only will you get repeat business from them, but they will go and tell their friends, and they will become your best advertising. But you've got to look at where is your wow factor. So like, for example, some of you know I pastor Emmaus Christian Church, and so we've done a few things like we've done an event where we pay for the food, and when people are coming out of church, we have some food for them. And the people that came to church that day went, wow, this is really nice. And so if you're going to excel in business, I want you to stop thinking just what can I do to get by, and think about what can I do to create a wow. This is what the virtuous woman does here when they say she is like a merchant ship bringing food from afar. She's not satisfied with average. She goes over and above what is expected, and she delivers a wow. You do those three things, and your business will take off. Well, this is Pastor Hensley Green. Thank you for joining me for Power Lunch. We are here every Wednesday at 12 noon for just a quick shot of Bible for business-minded people. If you're not following me, make sure you follow me on IG under Pastor Hensley and on Facebook under Emmaus Christian Church. Well, I love you. I know you're going to succeed. Take these principles and make your business bigger. See you next week.